What if I told you there was a way to use other people's money to earn an ROI that you personally get to keep? This is not make-believe. This is a system that business owners and leaders are using on a regular basis in the world of decentralized finance. Imagine just for a second, an asset-based loan product with no credit checks, no monthly payments, and access to capital instantaneously, all without selling a single thing you own. Welcome to the world of crypto and decentralized finance. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a simple strategy that I've used to grow my wealth and income. In my opinion, this is a must-know in 2025 and beyond for business owners and leaders and anybody who wants to get the most out of their personal investment philosophy. And don't worry if you've never heard of it. By the end, you'll see how this changes everything. Let's start from the beginning. Let's say you own a Bitcoin, a piece of digital gold, so to speak, digital real estate, an asset that no one can take away from you and that accrues wealth over time. Normally, with most assets, if you want to extract the capital, you need to sell the asset. However, certain assets, like real estate, for example, allow you to access the equity with things like an equity line. That's a type of loan in the traditional finance system that lets you tap into your home or your building's equity. But now you can borrow against your Bitcoin as well. And more mainstream banks are getting on board with that exact system. So now instead of selling your Bitcoin, you can show up to a bank and say, hey, I've got this valuable thing. Can I take a loan against it? And they say, sure. But here's the difference. There's no credit check. There's no paperwork. There's no monthly payments. The collateral of the asset itself is all that's needed. And rather than waiting 30, 60, 90 days to get approved from the bank, you can access your capital instantaneously in under 5 minutes. Now here's where things get wild. You take the borrowed assets, right, those digital dollars, and you invest them in something called a liquidity pool. What you're basically doing is providing liquidity for people that want to switch between two crypto assets on a daily basis. Every day, tens of thousands, even millions of transactions happen in these pools, and every time one of these happens, you earn a tiny fee. You're basically Visa and MasterCard, and you earn the processing fee, not the bank. And the yield percentage is something that traditional finance could not dream of, sometimes upwards of 180% annually with the right pools. Now, of course, some will pay even higher than that, but you want to stay in blue chip assets, at least that's my recommendation, because you are exposed to those underlying assets. So here's where the magic happens. The money that you've deposited is earning yield every single day, and you're using that yield to pay back the loan as fast as humanly possible. It's like your assets are working double time for you. Your Bitcoin is still accruing value because you still own it, and you're earning yield on borrowed assets and paying down the loan. Let me show you how the math breaks down in a real life example. This may be confusing at first, but just follow me along step by step and I'll walk you through it. I'm also going to put out a longer video that explains how to enter these pools. We teach a lot of that inside of our business owner and leader training program, but let me walk you through from a high level how this works. So you can see I've got a loan amount here of $8,000 that I took on 7/19. The interest rate does fluctuate. It is not static, but it's around 5.76%. Again, no monthly payments. So this is a balloon at the end whenever I decide to pay it back. Now here's two pools that I'm in. Again, this might not make sense quite yet, but it's a pool of assets. Virtuals on one side, you can see that there, and WETH on the other side. That's actually a type of Ethereum. So you probably heard of Ethereum. That's Ethereum. The pool fee is the fee in which people pay to use the pool. So if they need to switch between virtuals and Ethereum, they pay a tiny fee. Except instead of sending it to the bank or Visa or MasterCard, they pay it to us, the liquidity providers. You can see this is another pool here with a slightly different fee structure, and I put $4,000 into each pool for a total of my $8,000 loan. Now here's where it gets pretty amazing. The harvest is the yield that I'm generating. This is generated literally daily. So every single day this is extracted. I'm paid this in real time. There's also no lockup on my capital. I can exit this position anytime I want. So to simplify everything, you can see that over a 4-day span, I've harvested $250 from the position itself. If we break that down a little further, that's 4 days at an average of $62.68 per day that I'm being paid to be in this position. And if we project out, that's 128 days to pay back this loan, which equates to about 4.25 months. And just like that, in 4.25 months, you've made $8,000. You've paid back the entire loan, and that remaining is there for you. Now, you can do anything you want with it. You can cash it out. You can continue to just yield $60+ a day and use that as cash flow and accumulate there, or anything else you want to do with it. And one thing I always hear, if that was possible, why wouldn't everybody do it? That's like saying, why doesn't everybody just become a lawyer? All they have to do is go to college, then go to law school, and you're a lawyer, right? The reality is there's a skill set required to become a lawyer. There's a skill set required to execute these strategies. And also, many people don't know these exist right now. But I won't sugarcoat it. If you wanted to do something like this, you're going to need to learn an entire new terminology. You're going to need to learn how crypto assets work, how to stay safe, how to protect yourself, what are the blue chips, what are the trash, and how to navigate this ecosystem. Hopefully this is blowing your mind and you're realizing there are opportunities in the crypto and decentralized finance space that were typically only reserved for financial institutions that now business owners, business leaders, and regular investors have access to. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you've learned something and this is interesting to you, don't forget to like and subscribe because I'll be dropping more strategies and systems in the decentralized finance and crypto world every single week. This is how we escape the old system and build something new together.